أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings be upon you all. This is Sister Amreen on Radio Ramadan with EAVA FM on 102.5 FM. We are in the studio with the Children's Hour today. Apologies for the delay today. Alhamdulillah. The studio number is 0116 212 9324 and the text number is 07450 925 Today is just me on my own, so alhamdulillah, I will do my best, but I rely upon you, the audience who's listening in today, inshallah. So I'm here till 5 o'clock, and then after 5 till 6 is we're going to be talking about what inspires you. So in your day-to-day, who inspires you, and what character traits and things like that matter to you. So just to highlight from yesterday's children's show, which was the first one, we talked about what is Ramadan. And what kind of things, how can you make your Ramadan special? So we went through the 99 names of Allah. So we've got a competition that we're going to do, which we talked about yesterday. So each day I'm going to try and read at least 5 names. And from that, what I'd like you to do, this is to you children out there and your parents and your guardians to help you remember, is each day we'll do 5 to 8 names a day throughout the month. And then on the final day, whichever day that falls, a Thursday or Friday, we'll have as many children as we can get into the studio to read all the 99 names all together in unison. And those who can't come into the studio, the children will do that by listening into the radio, inshallah. So firstly, today I'm going to give you the 5 names and then I'll read them through, inshallah, see how we're doing for time, inshallah. So we went through the name, which is Allah, yesterday, where Sister Fatima read through. And then we've got Ar-Rahman, which says, I'm going to read the names first, then I'll go through the actual breakdown of it, inshallah. But I want you to remember this, children. So we've got Allah, Ar-Rahman, then we've got Ar-Rahim, and then we've got Al-Malik, and then we've got Al-Quddus. So we've got 5 names for today. And what I want you to do is go to your search engine and find a tune that you like. And the ones that actually gives you the transliteration, so you know what it actually means. And I want you to try and remember those names and memorize them with your family, your siblings. And throughout the days, we will go through them each day. Okay, and then each day when you're calling in, I want you to recite the ones that we've done and try and find out the meaning before I tell you what the meaning is. So we'll do the meaning towards the end of the show. That way you get to remember. Okay, so what I want to hear from you children today is what changes are you making during Ramadan? So what kind of things are you doing that you normally wouldn't do? So things like we had yesterday Mustafa saying that he doesn't really like hoovering, but he's going to try and do hoovering. And we had children saying just helping around the house and those kind of things. So what kind of things are we doing in the month of Ramadan which we normally wouldn't do? And how are we trying to perfect it? That's what it's about, inshallah. Okay, so just to confirm, we're on Ramadan special on EAVA FM, which is 102.5. And EAVA actually stands for East African Voice Association, which I always forget that bit. So Jazakallah for that reminder, producer. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so we're going to be running 2 sets of competitions. So we're going to have a poetry competition every 10 days. So it will be the last Friday. So every 10 days it will be the Friday, inshallah, because I'll be hosting with my co-hosts. I've got Sister Salma, I've got Sister Fatima, I've got a few others. We'll be doing Tuesday to Friday, and then we'll have one other person doing it on a Monday, so it won't be myself. So that's going to be more like if you want to just come and recite, it's going to be slightly different to that, inshallah. It'll still be 4 till 5, but it will be a little bit different because we don't want it to be, we want it, as we said yesterday, we want to invoke children to be creative and learn through fun, but also yes, Quran recitation, of course, is very important. We want to instill so the children actually know what they're reciting and why they're reciting it, inshallah. And I'd like to say, we're all volunteers here on the radio, alhamdulillah. So anything you'd like to see, any topics that you think like we could do better of, then please let us know. We are on the Facebook Live too. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube also. So please send in your comments and any feedback you've got on things how we can do, inshallah, and what topics you'd like to hear as well, aside from just the children's hour. What other things you'd like to hear about, and what other guests you'd like to see on the show as well. Okay, so we're going to have the poetry competition, which is going to be every 10 days. So what we'd like to do is the benefits of Ramadan and what changes and habits you are making. So children, this is for you. So what habits are you making? So you can write a story, you can make it into a nasheed, you can make it into a poem that you want to just recite, however you want to do it. Okay, and you can either call in or come into the studio. I think coming into the studio would be better. So let's see how many children we can get into the studio, inshallah. And then, like I said, the final will be on the last Thursday or the Friday of Ramadan, and we'll have everybody reciting the 99 names all together in unison, inshallah. For girls, the threshold is 10. And also, just a stipulation in terms of Ofcom regulations for you parents and guardians out there. If you're bringing your children into the studio, can you please ensure you will need to sign a disclaimer? Because obviously we do have Facebook Live, but also just in terms of the regulations now, you need to sign a disclaimer. So before you actually come into the studio, you will need to sign a disclaimer. And if your children are calling up, a parent needs to be there or a guardian to verify that it's okay for their child to be on radio, because obviously everything is recorded and it's obviously that's stored as well. So we need to ensure that we cover that too. Okay, looks like we have our first caller. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's your name?
Sarah.
I can't hear you. Can you speak up a little bit?
Sarah Hassan Surya.
Sarah, did you call yesterday, didn't you, Sarah?
Yeah.
Mashallah, you got in first. Were you waiting to call in?
Yeah.
Mashallah. And you're going to remind me how old you are again, Sarah?
5.
5, mashallah. And what would you like to do today? Are you going to sing for us? Are you going to recite? What are you going to do?
I want to pray 99 names of Allah.
Are you going to do it, all of it? Are you going to try see how many you can do?
22.
Okay, Bismillah. When you're ready, my darling, speak really clearly into the phone, okay?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Huwa Allahu alladhi la ilaha illa huwa Allah ar-Rahman الرحمن والرحيم والملك والقدوس السلام والمؤمن المهيمن والعزيز الجبار والمتكبر والخالق البارئ والمصور والغفار والقهار الوهاب والرزاق الفتاح والعليم القابض والباسط الخافض والرافع المعز والمذل.
Is that the last one? MashaAllah. Any more?
السميع والبصير. صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah. That's beautiful, Sarah. How long did it take you to learn that? How long have you been trying to practice?
2 days.
2 days? What, since Ramadan started? MashaAllah. Before Ramadan. Oh, mashallah. That's beautiful. So are you going to try and learn any more? How many more are you going to try to learn in, say, by Friday? Should we do like a little...
I want to learn all of it.
Okay, but by Friday, should we do like a mini competition? I'll give you a challenge. So how many do you think you can learn by Friday, Sarah?
And nearly the same.
Okay, so if you try and get to 40, okay, because you did 22, do 18 more and see how you can do that, okay? And then if you can...
I'll try,
inshallah, yes, you're going to try. And who's teaching you at home? Is it mommy, papa? Is it your brother, your sister?
My mommy.
Your mommy. May Allah bless your mommy for teaching you, inshallah. Ameen. So what I want you to do, on Friday, Sarah, I want you to call in again, okay? And if you're able to come with your mum, then try and come in. We're going to have the same time, 4 o'clock for the children's show. And if you can come in and recite whatever you've learnt by Friday, then try and come in on Friday or call up, whichever your mum can do for you, okay? Yeah? Is that a deal?
Yeah.
Yeah? Inshallah. Yeah. Would you like to say salam to anybody? Sarah?
Salam to my beloved dad and my
Ameen.
mom.
Ameen. May Allah make...
Maisha, my friend.
MashaAllah. Well, inshallah, you know what? You need to tell your friend.
And Aisha, my friend too.
Aisha's your friend too. Okay. What you need to do is try and tell all your friends that you're trying to practice the 99 names and you all do it together. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah? So try and come in on Friday. Are you going to promise me you're going to come in on Friday? Try and get mummy to bring you in, yeah?
I'll try.
Inshallah. Okay, my darling. Jazakallah khair for calling in and being the first caller today. Assalamu alaikum.
Barakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ameen. Bless. Subhanallah. Mashallah. So Sarah did 22 names, mashallah. And we set a challenge to at least try and do 40 by Friday. I want to see who can do how many names by Friday. That's in the first week. How many names can our children know, but also the meanings of them, inshallah. So like I said, each day we'll go through at least 5 to 8 to get in time to complete the 99 names throughout the month, inshallah. And then also for them to actually understand the meaning and what the meanings are. So for example, I'm just going to pick, let's have a look at today. So, okay, Ar-Rahman. Have you ever thought about the fact that everything on earth is completely dependent on the sun? And have you ever noticed that the sun shines on everyone, no matter how good or bad they are? The sun might tell us something about Ar-Rahman. In Arabic, the word Ar-Rahman is related to the word for womb. Thinking about the bond between a mother and the baby in her womb can help us understand Ar-Rahman. Just like a mother's womb surrounds a baby, Ar-Rahman surrounds every one of us, giving us all that our souls need to grow and loving us with infinite kindness and compassion. This name means the compassionate. To be compassionate means to be full of love and kindness. Allah's love and compassion is endless. Ar-Rahman is the gateway through which all the other names flow. It is God's compassion that results in everything we know. So just to highlight this actual book, I'm going to try and see if it is called, it's Illustrated Guide for Young and Old. So it's the 99 Names of God, written and illustrated by Daniel Thomas Dyer. I'm trying to see, it's by Chickpea Press, so if you might want to put that in. But it's really well illustrated, mashallah, and it's really clear. So even for like new Muslims, you know, anybody who's anything, you know, for all ages, actually, it's mashallah, it's a beautiful book. So I'm just going to read a little bit more. The Holy Quran, truly, those who have faith do righteous deeds will the compassionate endow with love. So that's Surah Maryam. A quote from Rumi, which is in here. It says, Rumi says, someone asked, what is love? I answered, you will know when you become we. So we need to think about, so we're talking about kind of characters and things. So children, I want you to think about when somebody was kind to you and showed you compassion. What did it mean for you? So for example, when somebody was nice to you, how did they do that? And how did it make you feel and how did it make them feel? You know, in this blessed month, it's all about compassion and giving and charity, but it's also in our actions as well. So it's about how we show love to one another, our parents, our siblings within our community, our neighbors, you know, whatever faith or background they are. So I want to hear from you children in terms of how do you let your parents know, or the people that you live with, because not everybody has their parents with them, is how do you show them that you care for them? How do you show that you love them? How do you show that you appreciate them? How do you let them know that, you know, you're going to try your best for them? You know, especially for our children, because they embody they only do what we show them. So how can they emulate that on a day-to-day basis? Even when something is wrong, situations happen at school with children, happens with children, within the home, you know, different circumstances. But how do we instill our children to be compassionate and caring through actions and behavior? So that's where I want to hear from you, children, today. Ideally, I want to hear some, if those of you who know any of the 99 names, then perfect. That's alhamdulillah, it's a good start. And we can get started with that, inshallah. I also would like to do a little please, because every year we try and do different competitions, and we try and make it different, because it's all about, it is about the children. But we want to do competitions that are going to be fruitful, where they can learn, but also they can continue that, inshallah, after Ramadan. But what we need donations of prizes and ideas, hampers, vouchers. So anyone's got any contacts, any local businesses, then please contact the studio and come and see us. And any books, especially publishing books, there's so many resources out there. We had many, mashallah, many gifts and books donated last year, alhamdulillah. So jazakallah for all of those that helped out last year. But if you've got any new ideas, because we don't want to just give vouchers for the sake of giving vouchers. They've got the children. We want them to actually take their time to learn and understand why they're learning something as well. And for them to actually appreciate when they are given a gift, and then to use it. So it's not about giving just vouchers for desserts, etc. But alhamdulillah, it's all good. But we need to keep a balance, inshallah. So okay, so you're here with myself on the Children's Hour, Sister Amreen. I am here without no host today, but alhamdulillah. We are on Evington Road, and the studio number is 0116 212 9324. The text number is 07450 925084. We're on Ramadan special with EAVA FM on 102.5 FM. I'd just like to go through. So we've got, as I said, we've got competitions. So we got poetry competition like every 10 days. So it will be the last Friday. So it won't be this Friday, it'll be the next Friday, inshallah. And what we want is what we want the poetry to be about, or the nasheed or song, whatever you want to call it, is the changes you're making during this blessed month, and how you want to perfect that after. So make it into a habit, and continue that after the month of Ramadan, inshallah. And that will be different competitions. So each 10 days will have a different topic. Obviously, it will be all relating to Ramadan, but in a different part of it, inshallah. And then the final competition will be the 99 names. So as many children as we can get into the studio who can learn the 99 names, and also and sing it in unison together, inshallah. So that's the idea. And I just need to reiterate on that, due to Ofcom regulations, parents, if you're bringing your children in, you will need to sign a disclaimer. Those of you who are calling into the studio as well, your children, a parent will need to be there to verify that an adult is there to confirm that their child is okay to be live on radio. As course, everything is recorded, so everything is stored as well. So we need to ensure we cover that, and it's due diligence for us. So I'm going to have a look. We went through, let's have a look. There's quite a lot. There's this amazing book, which is 1001 Inventions and Awesome Facts from Muslim Civilization. Don't know who the book is by. Oh, it's National Geographic. So, alhamdulillah. It's a brilliant book. It's a really, really amazing book, alhamdulillah. I love stuff like this. It's amazing how much we don't know. So, let's have a look. So, we have, can I have a look? Here we go. Okay, so here's some terrific facts about some of the towns. Okay, so... Oh, I have the camera on, so I'm going to try and hopefully you can catch that, inshallah. So it's basically exploring the Muslim heritage in our world. I'm going to just put it back up there again, hopefully. Yeah. So, inshallah. Okay, we've got some Facebook shout-outs I'm going to do now. So it's Tahira Sakrani, Jazakallah khair. I can't read the other name. I am so sorry. I think Alidu Y Abdul Rahman. Please, I apologize for my pronunciation. It is awful. Suraya Adam. Jazakallah khair for joining us. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so let's have a look. Right, I'm gonna try and do something that's okay. So 10 facts. So Cordoba in the Muslim Spain was the New York City of the 9th and 10th century world. It featured free schools, libraries, houses with running water, and much more. Okay, The founders of the Alhambra Palace in Granada, in Spain, still use the 650-year-old water system designed during Muslim rule. Wow, subhanAllah, how amazing is that? In contrast to Cordoba, London, England, and Paris, France didn't have oil-burning streetlights and paved roads for another several hundred years. So, subhanAllah, Cordoba, Spain was really ahead of its times. In some more advanced towns, trash was collected regularly by a donkey cart, and the streets were cleaned daily and drained by a system of sewers. Hammams or bathhouses were an important part of towns in the Muslim civilization. So you know how they've got all these spas and everything now? It's all because it's come from Muslim heritage, subhanAllah. Townspeople spent a part of certain days at the hammam, relaxing in its steam room, taking a hot bath or plunging into a cold pool. You might be surprised to learn that many of the conveniences and comforts that you enjoy today were part of everyday lives of people in the Muslim civilization 1,000 years ago. Subhanallah. Towns in Muslim civilizations were highly advanced and organized for their time. The main features like markets, homes, bathhouses, and parks were neatly arranged around the mosque. Most homes in Muslim civilization have built-in air conditioning, inner courtyards, gardens, and terraces. By contrast, most people in the medieval cities elsewhere lived in far less comfortable dwellings. Walls around the houses had to be taller than the height of a camel rider to protect the privacy of the people inside. Another fact, to provide relief from the hot desert climate, town planners created shade by designing narrow covered streets, outdoor fountains and courtyards and elaborate gardens. People of different faiths and ethnic backgrounds lived near each other and worked together in towns under Muslim rule. And shopping for food and spices and books and other goods was done at an open air market called a souk. And how many places where we go to now is, subhanAllah, these souks? And where do you think that, how we have market traders now, where do you think that came from? All those thousands of years ago, it came from our Islamic heritage, and when they used to have markets, which we call markets now. And this is it. People still shop at souks in Morocco. As we know, those of you who do travel to places like Morocco, Turkey, even Spain, you'll see these souks everywhere. Subhanallah. It's amazing. It really, really is amazing. Subhanallah. There's so many facts. MashaAllah. I love this book. I can't highly recommend it. Thanks to Sister Fatima for bringing it in. Okay, so we've talked about different character traits and about children being compassionate. So I want to hear from our listeners. The studio number is 0116-212-9324, and this text number is 07450-925-084. So it is about what acts the children are doing in Ramadan and what are you doing. So how are you perfecting? Sorry, excuse me, apologies, I have a really bad cold. So what are our children doing during the month of Ramadan? And children, I want to hear from you. What are you doing that is normally you wouldn't do? And you want to carry that on and you want to be better at it, inshallah. What little things are you doing? And it's not about doing anything massive. It's starting off small and doing little things at a time. Okay, so on the Facebook Live, we have Noor Aslam joined, Jazakallah khair, and message saying, Assalamu alaikum, my dear sisters. It's not sisters, it's just me today, alhamdulillah. I will be on from after 5 o'clock, so I'll be 5 till 6. So we're doing who inspires you, people of inspiration, inshallah, as well. So that's going to be the next topic. So we've got about another, say, 15 minutes or so left, inshallah. We'll go to a break in a couple of minutes. But I want to hear reflections from you. So we're in the second or third day of Ramadan, depending whenever you started. I hope it's a blessed month for you. But I want to hear from the children. Children, what are you doing? Like, what little things are you doing to help maybe around the house? Things that you wouldn't normally do. Things like, I I don't know, cleaning, emptying out the rubbish that you normally wouldn't do because your elders would do it for you. But you know, how are you more conscious of? How are you more conscious of making those changes? So, what other things can you do that you don't normally, but you're doing it because you know you're doing it for the sake of your parents or your elders, and you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be pleased with that. You know, so you're putting yourself aside and you're actually doing it because you know it's the right thing to do, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be so happy with you, and so are your siblings or your parents or whoever you're doing it for. You're helping around the house and you get so much blessings and barakah from it. And we know all the acts that we do in this blessed month, it's 10 times more, it's 70,000 times more the blessings that we get in this blessing month, mashallah. So I want to hear from you children in terms of what's happening, you know, what kind of things are you doing, and what things you wouldn't normally do, and how you want to improve as well. So really what's Ramadan means to you, and how are you behaving at home, how are you behaving at home, how are you behaving at school. And even if you're fasting, I'm hoping you're not fasting too, you know, you shouldn't be too young to be fasting. We had, you know, doing the half fast, you know, we need to encourage our children if they're okay to do that, but obviously be mindful, obviously if they're being at school and stuff and they're too young, they shouldn't be fasting. We don't want any health issues and things like that. So what we doing, and if you're not fasting, then what are you doing instead, like to help out even more? You know, children, I want to hear from you. How are you helping your teachers? When you go to madrasa, what are you doing at madrasa? You know, are you doing extra little chores that you can help around the masjid, or in your class? You know, are you picking up things for other children who are maybe fasting? You know, those kind of things. It all adds up. You know, they're all good deeds, and there's great blessings in it. You know, mashallah, because you're helping other people, and that comes down to what we were talking about in the names, inshallah, about the blessings of helping other people and being compassionate and showing love for other people. So, what are you doing to show other people that you care about them? How are you behaving? You know, what are you saying? Are you, you know, what words are you using? You know, all those kind of things. It's all part of it. You know, it's, yes, we know the blessed month of Ramadan is fasting, but it's not that. It's everything else and that. You know. So what other things are you doing in your good acts? What other charity are you doing? You know, they say, you know, charity begins at home. So what are we doing at home with our neighbors, you know, to our left, to our right, behind and in front? Those kind of things in terms of what compassion are we showing? You know, how are we letting people know this is our blessed month and we want to share the love in that, in terms of what our beautiful religion is, you know, alhamdulillah. And we can show that with our little deeds. You might think there's something really little, but they're not. You know, mashallah, little deeds become big deeds, but it's perfecting every time you do something. So, you know, you might think it's something really minor and trivial, but actually in the long run, it could be something far greater, you know. So what kind of challenges are you setting yourself, children? I want to hear from you. I'm not sure what time most children go to masjid. They're normally, I think, between after 4:30, 4:45. So yeah, I'd like to hear from you, inshallah. So just to confirm, we're on Ramadan special with EAVA FM on 102.5 FM. The studio number is 0116 The text number is 07450 We are here I am here till 5 o'clock with the children's hour. So just under another 15 minutes, inshallah, and I will see you after the break. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. You're here for the children's show. My name is Sister Amreen on Ramadan special with EAVA FM on 102.5 FM. We're on Evington Road. I'm here till 5 o'clock, inshallah. The studio number is 0116 212 9324 and the text number is 07450 925084. So, alhamdulillah, we were earlier talking about, before the break, we talked about, we went through the 99 names, where we had one of our first callers, little Sarah, calling in, and she went through 22 names. So we've set a challenge, see how many names she can learn by Friday, and if anyone can beat her. Let's see who can rise to the challenge, inshallah. And if you're able to come into the studio, that would be great. But parents, please ensure if your children want to come into the studio, you are with your child, and you will need to sign a disclaimer before you can actually come into the studio. You will need to come upstairs, but you will need to sign a disclaimer. Due to Ofcom regulations, we need to make sure all these logistics are done, inshallah. And so we talked about Ar-Rahman. We're talking about how you children can be compassionate. So how do you show your parents, your elders, your teachers, everybody in your walk of life, how can you let them know that you care about them? How do you let them know that you are conscious, and how does it make you feel when you're nice to somebody, when you care for somebody? How does it make the other person feel as well? There's many Quran and Hadith where we can say about being compassionate and how we love somebody, but how do we ultimately show it in our actions? That's what it's about. So how can we do that, inshallah? So I want you to think about that, children, and just to go over with some of the competitions we've got running. So we'll have 2 sets of competitions, and every few days we'll try different competitions, okay? So the first one is every 10 days, so next Friday, I would like you to tell us and write a poem on what changes are you making, what habits are you making within the month of Ramadan, and how you intend for that to change going forward after this blessed month. And then we'll have a final competition, which will be on the last Thursday or Friday, inshallah. And how many of you children can memorize the 99 names of Allah, but actually know what they actually mean as well? So understand what each name means. Okay, I've gone through 5 today. Each day we'll go through between 5 and 8 in order to make sure we cover throughout the whole month, inshallah. But in that time, I want you to go into your search engines and look at videos which are tuned that you like, that you can memorize. And also, parents, get involved with your children. Elder siblings, get involved with your children, inshallah. Okay, that's what I'd like to do. That's the first part of the competition. So we've got 2. Don't know about prizes, nothing like that yet. It's about the taking part. Everything else will be advised later on, inshallah. Okay, so we have the schedule. I just want to go through. Assalamu alaikum. Is this Radio Ramadan on EAVA FM? Yes, it is. Whoever has texted in, number ending in 67, Jazakallah khair. It's just apologies for that. Yeah, so we are on Evington Road, and we are alhamdulillah with EAVA FM for this blessed month, alhamdulillah. But we want to hear from you in terms of our listeners. What kind of topics you'd like to hear? We are on the Facebook Live as well, so jazakallah khair for that, for those of you tuning in. I have another book. I have a couple of minutes. I'm just going to read. We started with the story of Nasruddin Shah yesterday. So it's called Riding a Donkey Backwards, Wise and Foolish Tales of Mullah Nasruddin. I will show you the cover. I'm not sure if you can see it, inshallah. So it's got 21 fantastic classic tales about much loved character from Muslim cultures, packed with jokes, riddles and wisdom. So, okay, I'm going to read the first part. So we've got part here. So we went through who Nasruddin Mullah is yesterday. Sister Fatima did. So this is a little bit about the traveller. One day Mullah Nasruddin saw a man sitting by the roadside with a big heavy bag. The man looked gloomy and tired. Why are you so unhappy? Nasruddin asked. I'm on a journey to visit relatives, the man replied. I hoped it would make me happy, but I still have a long way to go. This bag is so heavy. I'm tired and I'm not happy at all. Without another word, Nasruddin grabbed the traveller's bag and ran off the road as fast as a rabbit. The traveller jumped up And he said, "No," he called out. "This is even worse. Now I've been robbed." Round a bend in the road, the mullah saw a bush where he couldn't hide. He dropped the bag in the road, then he waited behind the bush. Soon the traveller came up the road. He saw his bag and he ran towards it, smiling and dancing with joy. "My bag," he cried. "I've got it back. This is wonderful." Nasruddin came out from behind the bush. "You see," he said, "that cheered you up, didn't it?" So that is the moral of the story. Alhamdulillah. Okay, we have our last caller. Who's on the line? Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
What's your name?
Khadija Ahmed,
Khatija. And how old are you, Khatija?
9 years old.
9 years old, mashallah. And what would you like to say today?
Nursery rhymes.
Nursery rhyme. Okay, mashallah. And go on then when you're ready. Bismillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. One, only one, only God Allah. These are the pillars of Islam. Only God Allah. Pray, pray, pray Salah. Pray 5 times a day. These are the pillars of Islam. Pray 5 times a day. Fast, fast, fast all day. Fast in Ramadan. These are the pillars of Islam. Fast in Ramadan. Give, give, give zakat. Give to help the poor. These are the pillars of Islam. Give to help the poor. Round, round, round we go when we make the Hajj. These are the pillars of Islam. Make our pilgrimage. Finished.
Mashallah. That was beautiful. Where is that from? I've not heard that before, Khatija. Did you write that, or is that written by somebody? I've not heard that one before. I've heard others, but that's the first time I've heard that one. Jazakallah khair for that. Anyway, Khatija, would you like to say salam to anybody?
My sister wants to pray.
She wants to pray as well. Okay, inshallah. How old is she?
5.
Okay, and what's her name?
Hafsa.
Hafsa. Okay, do you want to put her on? Jazakallah khair for calling.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Hafsa. How are you?
Good.
How's your Ramadan going?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. May Allah bless you for calling today. Okay, what would you like to pray or read?
Surah Fatiha.
Okay, Bismillah, nice and clearly, okay?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سورة فاتحة. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. صدق الله العظيم.
Mashallah. Jazakallah khair for that, Hafsa. Would you like to say salam to anybody?
Please?
Do you want to say salam to anyone, your family, your sister, anyone?
The whole ummah.
Jazakallah khair, and don't forget to remember us in your du'as. Jazakallah khair, my darling. Jazakallah khair for calling in. Assalamu alaikum. Mashallah, that was beautiful from Khatija and Hafsa. Mashallah, alhamdulillah. I love listening to children's nursery rhymes, and the way they mashallah interpret it, alhamdulillah, is beautiful. And obviously recitation is very important too, of course, but it's teaching our children what they're reciting and why they're reciting it as well, inshallah. And this is why we're doing the 99 names of Allah competition, because it's understanding. If our children can understand that, and we as adults understand it too, and it's about implementing those character traits within our life, is really important. And this is why when we were speaking earlier with the children, and what I want to know is for them to understand is when they're learning the 99 names, is learn the meanings and what they actually mean in terms of the character trait and why they're so important as they are. and learning it as reading it and singing it however they want to, but it's understanding what's behind each name as well and how they can implement it into their daily life. And for them to understand that is really clear. So I like all parents to work with your children, inshallah, and each day we're going to do between 8 and 10 names, inshallah. So jazakallah khair for joining me today on the Children's Hour. I will be on next with the drive show, inshallah. So just in summary, the competitions we have poetry competitions we'll be running every 10 days. The final competition will be the 99 names, and we've been talking about the character traits and the actions that you can do within the blessed month of Ramadan, and how we can perfect that, inshallah. So each day we'll have different topics, and we'd like to hear from you. It's been myself, Sister Amreen, on the Children's Hour with Radio Ramadan on EAVA FM on 102 FM. Assalamu alaikum.